In a world of dungeons, dragons, and devious DMs, 4 adventurers set out to save the mysterious land of Blaelflow.
I'm Frank Bunty, Dwarven Paladin and all-round badass. I like nothing more than righting wrongs and smiting evil.
I'm Bonarail, a half-elf rogue that'll rob you blind and mess you up.
I'm Lord Sugar, a human wizard noble. I'm rich, I'm better than everyone, and I set fire to everything.
I'm Draco Justice, Dragonborn Monk. For when justice calls, who will answer? I will. I'm Draco Justice.
And I'm Doddy, the resident DM. I'll be throwing everything at these guys, including the kitchen sink. Ooh, a mimic kitchen sink.
Nerd OD&D from the Nod Network. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and wherever else you get podcasts.
All right, little Billy, you sit there. We'll put Tom and Jerry on, all right? I'm just going to go and make your dinner. I'll be back in 4 hours.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Nerd OD podcast with your host, Red.
And Dan.
How are you doing, Squire?
I'm all right. Not too bad. It's a rather special day, Reg.
It is.
Yeah.
You know why it is? It's completely different than your special day.
All right, okay, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
But today is the day where, if you live in Wales, you can go get your hair cut.
No way.
Hell yes.
Does that mean you finally had your ears lowered?
I haven't yet, because I've literally been in work
All right, fair
all day.
enough.
But the first thing
You've been
I've done,
self-ear lowering.
I've been, oh God, no, you want to see the state of my hair. It is unbelievable. But I've literally messaged, because the guy who I use to get my hair cut has a shop in Ash's shop. One. He's got one round the corner from us in Airbus. They've got like a little gym there, and he's got hairdressers in there. So he was like, "Hey, I'm in Wales." I was like, "Fucking Instagram message. Hey, it's Sash's husband. I believe you're really cool. Can I have a space, please? Like now." So I'm just waiting for him to message me back, going, "Hey, Reg, I said you'll kill me if you didn't get my haircut." So I'll sort that out. It's the nice thing about having the wife in the shop. All she has to do is threaten to murder people, and they're like, "I'm really sorry."
All right, fair enough.
So thankfully I'll be able to get my ears lowered at some point this week, and it's going to be glorious. So Reddy went everywhere else opens up in the world. I'm like, look at my fresh hair.
Yeah.
So, but what is your day special for, sir?
It's my engage-anniversary.
Engage-anniversary?
Yeah.
Nice.
This time last year, we were standing 3/4 of the way up the Amazeballs Fushimi Inari shrine, which is the hill which has all the red Japanese torii gates all the way up. So there's like 1,000 of them, overlooking Kyoto. It's a beautiful sunny day, and then I made the biggest mistake of my life. Not really, Shell, if you're listening. It was great. It was a wonderful, wonderful day. And then we had cocoa curry for dinner.
Nice. If only there was a video I could see of said location.
Well, there is, but it doesn't include a video of us getting engaged. There is one. There is one that I have, but the video that is on our YouTube channel of our weekend in Kyoto, it shows us sort of standing there, and then it fades to a nice Gaussian blur, so you can just see there's something going on behind, and then says, "Yeah, sorry, that video's private, bye," and then goes on to the next bit.
I can't believe that.
Shell going, look what I've got.
Can I see some video?
You can see that. She'd been saying for a while before it, that when we sort of talked about it, that she wanted a Lego engagement ring, joking. And I had a look, and you can get Lego engagement rings. There's a very clever one where someone's got a 1x8 or 10 flat Lego piece, the flat ones, and curved it, bent it, must have melted it, so it bends it round so it's in the shape of a ring, and then just put a little stud like you collect in the games on top of it as a jewel. I saw that, and they're £6 on Etsy or something. I was like, interesting. But then I went next best and got a real ring, that cost monies, and got a little Lego box to put it in. So that worked well because it's a really cool little ring box. But afterwards, we're sort of, you can see it in the video actually, we're walking down the hill and she's like, going, oh my God, it's amazing. And because she was quite happy, as you'd imagine. And she joked like, yeah, it was in a gacha machine. And then we both stopped and looked at each other and I was like, oh, why? Well, that would have been amazing. Can you imagine if I got a ring, put it in a little gacha pod, somehow got it into a machine and made sure it was the next one and that no one else got to use it before it happened. And she put the money in, turned it around, opened it, and there was an engagement ring. Can you imagine?
What you should have done then, Dan, was kickstarted Shenmue 3 back in the day and done the tier where you got the actual capsule toy machine.
Right.
Capsule toys in it.
I mean, it's just a cardboard box that looks like a capsule. So it wouldn't have quite worked, but yeah.
She might have fell for it.
It's an option.
Until you try it, you never know.
It's true.
Go back in time with your machine and kickstart Shenmue 3.
Yeah, Shenmue 3 was out by then, wasn't it? But people hadn't received their Kickstarter stuff, so yeah, kind of a nice idea, but probably wouldn't have worked out. No. Not that it mattered, because it's not like we can actually get married.
Well, you can.
No.
It's just be a bit of a rubbish do.
We can just have like 3 other people there and that's it.
That was my entire wedding. No. It wasn't. We had the most magical day and even had to kick Steve out, obviously, which we've gone through because there was too many people and people turned up that weren't invited to certain parts.
People, you mean person?
I mean Steve.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway.
So, I haven't called him the other S word for a very long time. That just weirdly came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Strange you decided you'd be nice to him.
I know, and ever since I've decided to be nice to him, he's never shown up for anything.
That's it. It's the reason that has slipped back into your vocabulary is the lack of him joining us on the podcast.
Must be. Must be it.
What are we going to call Dave? We need a new name for Dave because he's equally as guilty.
He is these days, isn't he? Let's call him... what other name begins with D that isn't Dan? Or David?
Yeah, that would cause extra confusion.
We could call him... Oh, no, we know a Don. And yeah, we will go into that. It's got to be another D name. Derek.
Derek, I like it.
There we go.
Okay.
It's nice that we get to do these sort of things.
It's very important. Very important time spent on the podcast.
No, Dave, like, why call me Derek? I'm like,
yep.
No reason.
Can we change his name on Slack?
I think you can, can't you?
Am I an admin on our chat group? Let's see. Anyway, that's not important. Let's do that some other time.
Okay. I'm doing it right now.
Fair enough. But other than that, how's the tricks?
You know what? My tricks are good. I'm stupidly busy at work, which is always fun. I'm getting so hyped up, psyched up, and ready for round because of this new Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge.
I saw a short, minute or so length video that told me everything I need to know about that game, and I'm very excited about it.
I know. I seen this lovingly created in 64, and so this game looks and sounds just phenomenal.
Yes,
right.
TMNT Shredder's Revenge, right?
Yeah. So I've got one reservation about it.
Okay.
The theme tune. Did you listen to it?
Yeah, I mean, so basically they've announced this new game, which is a side-scrolling beat 'em up. Looks, like the Scott Pilgrim game, but with turtles, basically.
That's
which
weird.
Very weird.
Because it's got people that worked on the Scott Pilgrim game creating this beautiful thing.
So the trailer was basically about 20 to 30 seconds of gameplay, and then a minute and a half of a newly animated introduction to the 80s TV show version. 80s, 90s, was it 80s?
80s.
Yeah. Which, was all well and good, but not having followed the Turtles for a long time, Reg, so I'm sorry, I know you're a resident Turtles expert. I heard the theme tune, that there was some band covering the old 80s theme tune, and I was wondering, is that who it was?
Yeah.
All right, no way. Okay. Didn't realize they were still together. I figured maybe that was the theme tune from one of the recent reboots, but clearly not. It was an original, was it?
If this was a video pod, Dan, you would see my hand pointing to the door right now.
Well, I told you I just don't watch it.
I know, but you should have listened to that and gone like, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I did, but at the same time, doesn't mean that it's not something they'd already used.
No, it's a spanky newie.
Okay. When either a band or a singer doesn't know the song, or intentionally tries to sing it in a different sort of cadence or pentameter or whatever, who just sings it out of time on purpose. Like there's lines that he just says, like a Michelangelo's a party dude, instead of a Michelangelo is a party dude. And I was hearing that, and that was enough for me. Like, I'm not, like I say, that I'm not. It's not like I'm obsessed with the thing like you are, but it still bothered me.
It's just the fact that it's as though he's singing it on karaoke.
Yeah,
right? But he's like too busy jamming out, and then looks at the screen to go, and then
exactly
randomly throw words in that don't belong in that.
Yeah,
verse.
Tries to squeeze too many words into a short space, when if he just sang it properly, it would fit perfectly.
Yeah, it was just, that was the only thing that was jarring. However, the game itself is going to be just insanely awesome.
Yes, it does look good.
They haven't given too much away about it, or like in terms of like plot, etc. Of what's going down. All we know is basically Bebop and Rocksteady have been going into like certain places and like Channel 6 headquarters and stuff, and just nicking bits of equipment for something to do with Shredder and Krang's latest evil ploy. And then the Turtles obviously have to just go back out there and raise some shell, so to speak, and just get everything back. However, it is going to be on PC and consoles, which is just awesome. The Steam page is now up and running where you can pre-order it, which is always great. And the one thing I didn't know is that Tribute Games actually did the TMNT Game Boy Advance games, which were awesome.
Oh, wow. Okay. They've been around that long.
Yeah. So that is awesome. And yeah, so basically it looks proper old school. So imagine the TMNT arcade machine, or my favourite, which was the Turtles in Time. So you can have up to 4 players at once running around, just causing mayhem. And the beautiful thing I love is the fact they've kept in the throwing the foot soldiers into the screen on the trailer. Yeah, it just looks ace. Like I'll let Oliver watch it, because he was like, Ash was in work the other day. On Mother's Day, in fact, of all days, to be working. She got put in Mother's Day again for the fucking second year running in this place. So me and Oliver were at home, and we were like, right, upstairs. He was playing in his playroom. I was tidying in our bedroom, putting clothes away and stuff off the iron rack. And I was watching some Disney videos to begin with, and then I was like, Oliver, and he was just ignoring me because he was happily playing, and I was like, I know what'll get his attention. So I stopped on YouTube and put in Shredder's Revenge on YouTube, and in space of like 5 seconds, if that, he just come charging into the bedroom and started like hitting my leg, like really excitedly punching my leg to be like, it's the Turtles. I was like, yes it is. So I stuck him on the bed, and he was jumping up and down and like fucking people elbowing the mattress and stuff, like really getting so hyped up. Because the Turtles were on telly, and it was all dead quick, like flash fighting and like the intro cartoon. He was absolutely loving it. And then when it ended, he was like, huh. So I put it on the phone so he could watch it on the phone while I carried on watching Disney vids. And he was like trying to tap the screen to do the attacks and stuff, because the game, because he's got this thing at the minute where he watches YouTube videos of people playing games. So, you know, like a typical kid.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot younger for doing it. but he doesn't understand certain parts where it's not an actual game, it's just a video of a game. So like one of them is a Thomas game that he likes watching some dude play, and you get towards like a junction and you've got to press on the screen, do you want to go left or right? And the guy will stop and be like, which way do I go? And as he's deciding which way he's going to go, Oliver's just like smacking the hell out of the tablet, going like left. And when it doesn't go left, he goes like shakes the pad to be like, I said it the other way. And when it does it right, he's like, yes, and does his little arm bump fist thing. And it's adorable and so funny. But now he's like, I know how to play games now, Dad. So we'll like jump on my Disney Blitz that I play. And the Turtles game, he loves leveling up the Turtles to watch him dance and do stuff with. So like that's just awesome. But yeah, going back to obviously the game, sorry, it is coming out on console, but they haven't advised when it is. So
no.
I need to get it on a console when I get a console, hopefully the Switch.
Yeah, it would seem silly to not be on the Switch, really.
Yeah, because I can't have him playing it on my laptop because he will destroy the laptop. So just because of sheer excitement, at least the Joy-Con's only, about 40 quid second hand, whereas you can't replace a keyboard cheap enough for my laptop, to be fair. So, but the artwork and everything just looks stunning.
It does look good.
Genuinely can't wait to play this. It's just going to be absolutely incredible. So, yeah, I know we went straight into business, but I just had to be like, yes, I'm excited.
No, it's fine. It's understandable. I get it.
That's been my week. That, and also now Oliver really enjoys listening to the This Is Bare Naked Ladies playlist on Spotify while we'll have a bath. So listen to kids' music and stuff. He's just like, oh, you put it on, and he loves it because me and Ash sing along to it, and me dance. He proper gets into it and dances and splashes in the bath and just gets really excited.
I mean, yes. I know that you're saying that's just any Bare Naked Ladies, but is it not one of the most genius things they ever did to make a kids album, to make Snack Time?
Yeah,
because you've got all these. I mean, fair enough, you can have all the Bare Naked Ladies fans going, right, great, I've got kids now, let me play them this album and get them into it early. And then suddenly you've got this whole new generation of Bare Naked Ladies fans. It's just, it's such a clever move. I mean, if only it wasn't sort of ruined by someone getting arrested for taking drugs and stuff, but,
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry. But still, it's a great album, like to the point where even just as Bare Naked Ladies fans, it's still a fun album to listen to, even though you're like, yeah, some of these are for kids. But there are some absolutely like proper classic Bare Naked Ladies tunes on there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Pollywog in a Bog.
I was going to say,
brilliant.
The video for that as well, great. It's great for the kids. So that's always a fun one.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Oliver will watch it, it's all puppets and stuff. So he's like, oh yeah, what's this? Right. Yeah. Into that.
That's it. Here you go, Oliver. You're going to love this one. It's called What a Good Boy.
Yeah.
If you're a Bare Naked Ladies fan, you'll be rolling around on the floor at that joke. If you're not, it's just a very, very sad, quite depressing but wonderful song.
Beautiful song.
Very beautiful. But anyway, yeah.
They've just announced, I don't know if you've seen it, they're doing a show from the Danforth.
Yeah.
It's annoyingly, it's not a live broadcast they're doing, like a stream they're doing. It's like a pre-recorded one, so they're probably going to like be able to sell it on like Blu-ray and stick it up on streaming sites.
Maybe. Well, that's what a lot of bands are doing, though. They're hiring gig venues and putting on a gig without an audience, but then, really high production value sort of filming it, which is good because then you've got no audience getting in the way.
The nice thing is, apparently, though, is that the even though it's only the mega hits, and when they announced it, like when they teased it, not the proper announcement, when they teased it, there was a new song playing in the background.
All right.
So I'm hoping they're actually going to like play some, at least one, maybe two new songs. Because the thing is, over here, I don't think they had a chance to tour the Fake Nudes album.
No, because that was the last album, right?
Yeah. So last year was supposed to be the Fake News tour, which I had a ticket for.
until October this year.
And then it was postponed until like May this year, and then they're like, "Yeah, that's not going to happen." Right, October this year.
Yeah.
It was like, "Oh right, okay, cool." By which time, since they're teasing new music now, we will have another album out.
Probably.
So we will have a 2 new album tour.
Potentially.
Which
there's a lot of bands in that position though. It's just how it is at the minute.
Yeah, I'm stoked for it. Like, I genuinely am excited to go see him play again.
Well, this is the thing. I really miss going to gigs. It's going to take a while to feel normal, just being close to other people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I still, walking down the street and other people are coming the other direction, I'll, still step onto the muddy grass or step out into, as long as no cars coming, into the road to get around them, to be far enough away. Partly that's, for me, and partly it's like, it's being nice for other people as well. But it's weird. It's like ingrained in my head. And have you been sat down and watched a TV show or a movie or something and had this really weird feeling for just a split second of like, whoa, there's a lot of people there together. Why are they so? Oh yeah, wait, no, this was filmed like 4 years ago. No, has that not happened to you?
No,
just I think when I'm not thinking about it, when it just happens, I'm just like, whoa, that's a lot of people. Oh yeah, no, that's fine.
But I think it's because I'm constantly going the shops and stuff where I'm obviously surrounded by people in the aisles and stuff. Like, I've never really thought.
Yeah, well, even then,
and then watching like videos of people still in Florida on the dinner and stuff, and obviously most of that is like 90% pre.
Yeah, because even if it wasn't, people over there don't seem to care quite as much.
No, I was going to say they still go crazy.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird. I'll be going, if that happens, the Bennick Ladies gig, and touch wood, everything goes the way everything's planned from here on. I'll be going to that. I've also got the Scandal, which is a Japanese rock band. They rescheduled a gig from October last year to, I think it's November this year. Is it October or November? And that'll be curious to see whether that happens, because that's a bit different. Because I know Japan's, they've announced, I think officially announced, or maybe it was leaked, that the Olympics is going to go ahead without any foreign fans.
Yeah.
Imagine if it had said without any foreign athletes. Would have been the greatest Olympics of all time. But yeah, so without any people attending from foreign countries, it's just going to be Japanese residents. And that's May and June, I think it was June. So it means they're not going to open up the airports or the borders until at least June, July. So it's weird. Can't decide, and I don't understand people who are spending £200 on a festival ticket for like July or August.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
That seems really, really optimistic, to be quite honest. And even then, I wouldn't feel comfortable. I don't think I'll feel comfortable that quickly. It's just ingrained in my head now but I'll get out of it, and once everything's sort of, people have forgotten about it, brilliant. But I don't think July, or I would love to go to a festival. It's something that me and Shell have been talking about doing for a couple of years now. But I wouldn't want to go this July or August.
No. If Scandal rescheduled date was the same date as Bare Naked Ladies were playing, who would you go see?
I would go and see Scandal, because they rarely come over to the UK. They rarely do a world tour. Bare Naked Ladies tour the UK every blooming year.
Done.
When there's not a pandemic.
Again.
It's true. It's true, Reg. You know that I'm making sense.
No. Not at all. The only one I think I'd have a bit of an issue with is if Dashboard came over.
Dashboard, I would pick over.
We are playing the same day as Ladies. Yeah. I'd be like, can you not just join forces? Because I don't want to choose. And mainly because it's been like 15 years, 16 years since I last saw Dashboard over here.
Even though you've had multiple opportunities.
But there's always been something that's happened.
Something has always come up. I know. No, that's what I mean. I'm not blaming you.
No.
Things have happened.
There's only been like 2 chances.
Yeah, and you're not including Twin Forks, obviously.
Well, no, because I went to see Twin Forks.
Yeah,
that's fine. But actual Dashboard.
Yeah,
been twice, and the first time was I can't remember what it was, but the second time was Oliver. So I just couldn't do that. But the first time round, I'm sure they cancelled again or something happened.
I think the first one was we had a bunch of tickets that no one used because you couldn't come, and then our friend Rich couldn't come, and I'm pretty sure that was Ash Ready to Drop. I think.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Really,
it was, wasn't it? Because it was literally, and it was like 2 days later she popped.
I think so.
Yeah. So I could have went. No.
Yeah. Never mind.
I won't say that because she sits not that far away from me, so I'm in beating distance.
Fair enough.
Oh no, she loves a good beating. Speaking of people getting good beatings.
Okay, are you going back to the Turtles beat 'em up?
Yeah. No. Have you started seeing all the reviews coming in for fucking Justice League?
Justice League. I mean, I wouldn't say I've seen multiple reviews, but I've read sort of the headlines of a bunch, and they're mostly saying, "Oh yeah, it makes a good movie finally." There's a quote here that I've got up from IGN's review of it, and they say Snyder's version of Justice League saves the movie from the dustbin of history. And do you know what? That's good enough for me.
The lowest I've seen it get is like 8 out of 10.
Wow.
Everywhere, like when we've been having a look at loads of the reviews, everyone's been saying it's like just don't even remember the original version.
Okay.
Once you see this, and I'm like,
because there's a bunch of it comes out on Thursday, right? But a bunch of people have seen it already because they went to watch Tom and Jerry on HBO Max and ended up getting the Snyder Cut instead,
which is just ridiculous.
Crazy.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Can you imagine? All right, little Billy, you sit there. We'll put Tom and Jerry on. All right, I'm just gonna go and make you dinner. I'll be back in 4 hours.
Yeah. Absolutely crazy. But I love the fact that over here it's coming out on Sky Cinema.
Yeah, which I almost feel like HBO at this point regret the Sky deal because it's just. Even though Sky Movies, that's a big deal. Back in the day, you used to have Sky Movies if you wanted to watch a movie that had maybe been out of the cinema 9 months early, 6 months early, something like that. It would be absolutely going on to Sky Movies, and then after 2 or 3 years, you'd see it on BBC One or ITV or Channel 4 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But now the amount of new movies that come out, and then 6 months later it's like, it's on Amazon Prime now, it's on Netflix or whatever. It doesn't seem like there's any point in having Sky Movies anymore. But any of the HBO stuff. So I'm curious what will happen. I suppose because we're going to have cinemas opening relatively soon. Things like King Kong versus Godzilla and the likes won't be going on to streaming anywhere. This is an anomaly in that this was never intended to release at the cinema. This was HBO Max, so let's put it on Sky.
See, I don't know. I'm sort of hoping in a way now that they've done this that they may start doing all the other HBO stuff, like Max films, like Warner Brothers films, coming out onto this. I mean, if it doesn't, there's no hardship because we're getting HBO Max later on down the line, aren't we, this year? And that comes through. So hopefully, I know you were saying last week that
exactly. It's the movie thing is for this year because they're like, look, we know that in the States at least cinemas aren't going to be opening for a while, and by the time it comes over here, the 30-day window that each of those movies got to stream on HBO Max in the States, it'll be gone.
But hopefully, what they'll do, well, by that time. Like everything comes out over here. Hopefully by that time, like the 6 month period of those films being in cinemas and then getting released to like the streaming services anyway.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Will actually be a thing. So hopefully we may be able to get to see it at some point without having to go out and buy like the Blu-ray or the DVD player or
absolutely
to go do it.
Definitely.
But yeah, I was going to say I phoned up over Sky before because I just had to swap my broadband deal. But I know probably isn't that exciting for most people.
Tell me about your wonderful broadband deal, Reg.
But it was like BT, the snidey fuckers. Because they don't let you know when your contract, you've got to keep like a proper eye on it to see when you're about to come out of contract. Because last time they got me, and we were paying normally like it was like 32 quid or something a month, and then I checked like a couple of months down the line, and I was paying like 58 quid or something a month, and I was like, why the fuck am I paying 58 quid? And they're like, oh, you're out of contract until you phone me up and say, hey, can I reactivate it? This is your out of contract fee. And I was like, fucking hell. Right, okay. So I made a note this time round. And the beautiful thing now is that everyone seems to do the broadband route, like fibre around my area. So I actually had to pick instead of having to go like, right, BT again. God damn it. Right, let's do this. So
I made a lot of money out of you back in the day when I used to sell broadband at my old job, and we'd get paid for each order. We didn't get paid for connections, we got paid for orders. So the amount of times I was like, oh, let's just try this provider. And then 2 days later, you'd get a phone call saying, yeah, sorry, we can't do fibre. Dan, can you put another order in? Yep, okay, there you go. Another provider. Yeah, sorry, we can't give you fibre. Great. Yeah, kept my store out of the off the naughty step for a while.
See, I do have my uses between that and the insurance, which I used to cancel when I got home.
Yeah.
It was all good.
Or you didn't.
Yeah, all the years I didn't.
Yeah.
Which was always fun. But yeah, so we phoned Sky up and I was like, right, I want this casino on top cashback. So I went through it. And I managed to get like the normal fibre that I'm with BT for like half the price of that I'm paying now with Sky. So I was like, oh, that's a really good deal. And then when I went on the Sky package on my Sky account app thing, I noticed there's a new deal going on with Sky in general, which is we do the entertainment package and then bolt on like a load of shit, like the HD, the kids, the cinema and all that sort of stuff. But there's something now called Sky Signature, which is like it encompasses the box sets, which we pay separately for, like the HD, which we pay separately for, and the entertainment package, and like they get 150 extra channels for the entertainment package for like 25 quid a month. I was like, I'm paying like more than like nearly double that to have the package that I have. So I thought, you know what, while I'm feeling this like, ooh, I'm saving money, I'm going to give them a call and be like, save me money. But it turns out that I accidentally got in contract properly with Sky Cinema up until the end of June. It is. So if I wanted to move over to the Sky Signature package, they would then cancel the discount I had on the Sky Cinema package and move that up to 25 quid a month for Sky Cinema. That's how much it is for Sky Cinema, despite them having movies probably later than the likes of fucking Netflix and stuff.
That's
now.
it. That's it. It's just, yeah.
How can you warrant that a month?
Yeah, and especially when you could just get now TV movies for $9.99 or whatever it is. You get a 14-day free trial, go to cancel it, and then get it for about £4 a month.
It's insane like how much it is just for Sky Cinema. So I've made a note on my account to be like, right, okay, cancel this because we'll fucking get Sky Signature on this date and do that. But like I didn't, until you start mooching into stuff properly, I'm usually the worst. Same with my car insurance and anything like that. I'm just like, yeah, I'll just let that roll on. I just won't bother changing it when I should do. I should look around and be like, right, time to save me money. Like, how am I going to do this? But recently I've been like, right, if I save £7 here, that's a new Spider-Man figure for Oliver, so I can put my own side and do this, I can do that. And that's how it now works things out. So I could be a little bit more money savvy, so it can
get yourself a little money box and start saving for your PlayStation 5, Reg.
I can't, mate. I've got an issue that if I see it, I've got to spend it.
Fair enough.
It's awful. And if I know there's a money box there, I'm like, oh, that money's in there. What do I want? I'll just buy some snacks. I'll just have this. And it's never there. It's like I had for my birthday money so I could like do whatever I wanted. My idea was to buy the pad for the laptop.
Okay.
And then Oliver ended up with some toys, and me and Ash ended up with a load of snacks and some takeaways. And I was like, yeah, that money's gone. Like, but it was a nice idea while it lasted.
Okay, yeah. Those snacks were nice until they were all eaten.
They really were. It's a glorious thing. I'm trying to indulge myself while I can, because I know I've got the gym coming back up when it opens next month. So I'm just like, help me now, and just like feed me all the snacks.
Cancel the gym. There's £25 a month straight in your pocket.
Yeah, but then I gained £25. It's not really worth it. I quite like being able to see like the definition and stuff. I
found we've got an exercise bike, and I found the best way to use the exercise bike is to be playing something on PlayStation at the same time, because your legs just go. You get into a fight with something, and you're in the moment of playing the game, and you're just cycling. You don't even realize.
Yeah, it is good. It's like Mike watches. I remember when House on Haunted Hill came out, and he literally watched the entire series while on the treadmill.
Right.
And I was like, I couldn't, like, certain things I could understand doing while you're like, when I'm on the exercise bike or like something like that, or the leg push-ups, like anything like that, or leg machines, I'll play it on a game, or I'll like flick through whatever because my hands are free.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I'll do this, and it, does pass it, but
takes your mind off it. You've got to.
But when you're trying to concentrate on the show or something, I couldn't do other things.
That's not my problem with that. I have a problem with that. I couldn't do it, and that is just that I know how long a TV program is. I know if I'm watching a sitcom, it's 22 minutes or whatever, or a show is going to be 44 minutes. So I know how much longer I've got left. I know when I'm coming to the end of the episode, and I'm like, right, I'm going to be able to stop in a minute. But if I'm sat there, if I'm sort of, sat on the seat doing a cycling on my exercise bike, playing Control, running through a level, I'm not even thinking about how much longer I've got to play this. I'm just sort of in the moment of like, right, let's got to kill the hiss over there, and you got to get these these things. It's just running all over without even crossing your mind. It works so well for me.
Yeah, I think that's why I like listening to the podcast more than when people listen to music.
Yeah, I suppose they don't necessarily have a time, a set time, do they?
No, and it's things like, especially like the role playing one that I listen to, that's like each one of those is like 4 or 5 hours. So like I'll go for as long as I can, but you don't realize how long you're going for because you get so absorbed into what's going on. Like you said, when you're playing the game and stuff, you'll literally go like, right, okay, I just need to stop to get like a sip of water or whatever, and you're looking like, oh shit, been on that for like an hour and 10. Like, right, okay, I need to jump off and do this, and like, let someone else have a go with the machine that's been stood there for ages going.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Hello. Yes, you may have a go. So I get where you're coming from with that, and I'd love to be able to take a PlayStation with me. So,
fair enough.
I suppose if I had one, I could remote play.
Well, do you know what you could do? You could take your Game Boy Advance with you, and you could watch Tenet
on 5 fucking cards.
It's just,
why did that guy do that?
If it was any other film, maybe it's the right film for it. But so basically, someone has converted Tenet to it's basically split into 5 30-minute chunks running at 6 frames a second in 192 by 128 resolution.
Which is apparently like the very, very bare minimalist that will actually make it viewable. Yeah, absolutely. And put them onto 5 Game Boy Advance cartridges. And they look really cool. Yeah,
it's got the little label on and everything. Labels, it reminds me when I used to have mini discs, and I would make my compilations, and I would make little stickers to make them look proper professional, like they were bought in a shop. And it looks like that. Someone's just made little Tenet stickers. I'm curious why. I mean, all he said. So apparently, the guy, it's possibly the worst way to view Tenet, and that seems to be his motivation.
Yeah, it's because he said, didn't he, that Dave Tennant, what's his name? Oh my God, who's the guy that made it? Chris Nolan. Said that the best way to watch it, the only way really you should be watching it is if you're watching the cinema, like on the big screen. It's designed for the big screen. So he must have gone, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, let's make it on the smaller screen.
Yeah, I'd love to watch it on my Game Boy Micro.
Yeah, can you
imagine? That would be the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, the problem is this. He's like, yeah, you need to watch it on the big screen with the sound and everything, and then he goes and mixes it so you can barely hear the dialogue half the time. Like I want to watch that film again, not because I'm like, oh, that was so good, I need to watch it again, because I feel like I miss so much that it might be a better film. I need to watch it with subtitles, and so many people said that. Because he's all about the big noises and the explosions and just everything. The dialogue seems to be an absolute afterthought, and it's just so low in the mix that you could barely hear what anyone's saying at certain points. It's horrible. I don't know. I do feel like I need to watch it again, but I also don't want to put any money on it. So maybe at some point it will be on Sky Movies, and I can get a free trial of Now TV Movies and watch Justice League, Snyder Cut, and Tenet again.
Well, if you don't mind watching it on a smaller screen, like on your laptop or whatever, you can watch. I'll give you my Sky Go login because no one ever uses it.
Oh right, is it on that? Fair enough.
So I've got the Sky Cinema package on there, so you can watch it on Sky Go. So if you want to,
interesting.
If you want to do that, because I'll never watch a film on the tablet or on the phone or whatever.
Fair enough. That sounds good, because I feel like I need to watch the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
it's just my responsibility.
Because I'd give it Ash's mum and went, oh, if you do this, and then we tried to cast it.
Yeah.
TV and Sky go, no. And she was like, oh well, and deleted the app, and I was like, right, okay.
Fair enough. No, I can watch it on my laptop. That's fine. It's probably a better aspect ratio for my laptop.
What you might be able to do though is plug your laptop into your TV via HDMI. And
maybe.
That way
Yeah, do you know about that he's formatted it for IMAX, even though this is going straight, onto home TVs. He's the resolution of the or the aspect ratio. Where is it? It's not quite 4:3, which is your old style TV, but it's somewhere close to that. Can't find it. I'll have the number. Oh, there you go. Yeah, 1:33:1, which is it's close to 4:3 basically, which is your old school TV. Because I'm
shout numbers at me then. I'm like, I don't know what you.
All right. Well, your old TVs. Before we had big widescreen, flat screen TVs.
Yes.
That's 4:3.
Right. Okay.
So if you go on YouTube and find a YouTube video from 12 years ago, it'll be like that. It'll be that format. In fact, watch the trailer on YouTube. It's that format. You'll notice that it's not widescreen. And because IMAX uses that extra space, that's the size of IMAX. So you have your full widescreen, but then you have all the extra at the top. So his argument is, look, I'm giving you all this extra. But it's like watching, when you're watching a video on YouTube or something like that, and you don't turn your phone horizontally, you just sat there watching it. Fair enough. It's fine, it's watchable, but it's filling that top part of the screen, but it's not making the most of what you've got. So you've got such a big part of your TV that isn't showing anything. And granted, most TVs you can press a button and it'll zoom in and fill the screen widescreen, but then you're missing what he might have framed at the top and the bottom. So it seems like, there's so many little weird and odd things about it, but I'm still curious to see it. In fact, I watched the new trailer, and it even looks like they either refilmed or they fixed the CGI of Superman's mustache.
They've fixed it completely.
Yeah, and it looks fine. Like I saw it and I was like, I had to rewind it to watch it again, and was like, oh, okay, maybe they refilmed.
Yeah,
It's either that. Like how on earth did they? How it's not that long since that film was out. How are they suddenly now good enough at CGI to fix it? I don't get it. I really don't understand.
No.
And I also don't understand how there's that. I almost need to watch the old version again so I can see what all the differences are. But apparently it puts a lot more a lot more depth into Steppenwolf's story and why he's actually attacking the Earth, and because it's R-rated, it's a lot more violent. Like there's bits of
I've heard,
and cracking skulls and things like that. There's a lot of positives that I'm hearing that I'm hoping it's going to be good. At the end of the day, there's certain Zack Snyder gets a bit of a bad rap, and I totally understand why. There are a lot of people who don't like a lot of his films. I couldn't stand Batman vs Superman, couldn't stand Man of Steel, but I love Watchmen. I love Sucker Punch, which I'm sure will get me a lot of slack because it's
an awesome film.
It's great. It's so good. It's just, if you shut your mind off for 2 hours and just be like, right, let's just not look too deep into this. It's such a good film. 300's a decent film, It's not. It's definitely not up there with Watchmen or Sucker Punch, I don't think, but it's still decent. So he can do some good stuff, but I don't know. I was so dubious about it, but I'm hearing so many good things that I feel like I need to watch it. So we'll see. I'll give you my my review of it next week.
Yeah, because it's the 18th, isn't it? It comes out.
Yeah, Thursday. It's out on Thursday. Yeah. All you Xbox owners could be playing one of 20 exciting Bethesda games on your Xbox with Game Pass from next week. How was that for a segue?
That was the most awful. I thought you were going to say about Outriders going straight to Game Pass.
Well, no, but that's the next thing, the Square Enix presentation, even though it's not happened yet. The Microsoft Bethesda acquisition's completely finalized now. So basically they're waiting for the European Trading Commission to sign off on it, and they were like, yeah, it's fine. And then literally the next day they were like, right, we're done. They're ours now. And I've every couple of days I'll have a flick through Reddit and read some of the top stories, and for a while one of the big discussions was about what's going to happen with the exclusivity and stuff. And people were picking apart all the statements, trying to find little hints and things that would tell them, look, are we still going to get some of these games on other systems? And then finally, it was like, that was pointless because I forget the guy's name, one of the big wigs at Microsoft was
Phil
like,
Spencer.
It might have been him. I think it was him. Was like, oh yeah, so this is it basically. New stuff. It's going to be on Microsoft platform, so anything with Game Pass, so it'll be Xbox and it will be on PC. Existing games, we will still support any other formats that they're already out on. So basically, a lot of the online games, things like Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online and the like, and anything that is already out that they had DLC prepared for, that's all still going to be coming for those formats, but it looks like nothing new will end up on PlayStation.
Yeah, so I think, in piggybacking off that, I think it's any new IPs. So when he was saying about like Elder Scrolls 6, when that comes out, or 8, whatever fuck Elder Scrolls it is now, the new one that's coming out, that won't be exclusive to Microsoft platforms. However, it would play the best on this said Microsoft platform. Was his really weird phrasing of it. So yeah, I think in that aspect of it, I think it's genuinely going to be like you said, any sort of new IP that's coming out, or if it's just because it is going to be like Fallout and Elder Scrolls, have to remain as multi-platform, but anything else that they own, like Doom and that sort of stuff, now they'll be like, you know what, sod it.
Well,
you know,
what I'm reading is it's only if there's contractual obligations that say that these things have to come out on other things.
Mm.
Oh, I don't know. It's curious. It's gonna be a while till we have a game that can kind of prove it. Do you know what I mean? Show us what exactly is going to happen, because most of the stuff that's coming out in the next 6 to 12 months is stuff that's already announced, and I'm sure they were already, completely stuck into developing for PlayStation and whatnot.
100%. I think you'll find the next, like you said, about next 2 years, it'll just still be sort of multi-platform stuff everywhere. And then by the time people forgot about the actual fucking deal, it'll be like, surprise, all these games now only belong on Xbox.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Just in time for the new version of the Xbox One XX triple LB version of the Xbox to come out. Just
that's nice. A catchy name.
It was, I'm sorry, that was a really poor effort at trying to think of a new Xbox name, but that's just about as good as they name it.
Yep.
No, it could be. We'll see. I'm thinking now, seeing that I'm going to be waiting for a while, I might just wait until they announce the new version of the PS5 come through before I go, you know what, sorry.
Well, despite the fact that you can barely get PlayStation 5s anywhere, apparently it was the highest selling console of all time in the States per dollar, apparently. So I'm guessing that means because it's so expensive to begin with, they sold less, but they made more money.
Wow.
That would make sense, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So a bit ago you mentioned about Outriders going straight to Game Pass. There's a bunch of basically Square Enix on the 18th. So, there you go. You can watch the Snyder Cut, and then you can watch the Square Enix little keynote presentation video.
And that is your day done.
That's it. That is pretty much, that's six of your hours dealt with. And plus lunch, 6.5. Yeah, we're getting there. And they've already said sort of roughly what they're going to be announcing. We're going to be getting a new Life is Strange series. So, I mean, the thing is, I played the first one and I loved it. I played Before the Storm, quite liked it, but what I realized was I really liked the sort of the Max and Chloe. It's Chloe. I forget what her name is.
It was Max and Chloe.
Yeah, Max and Chloe. That sort of that dynamic. I really liked her as a character and her story and everything, and that was what I was interested in. And I would probably have played a sequel based on her. But the second one is a completely, set in the same universe, but a completely separate story, and also does away with the whole mechanic of being able to rewind time. And that was another key thing. I loved that about the game. Like a lot of most games that have that as their mechanic, I loved. Apart from Blinks. Do you remember Blinks on the original Xbox?
Yeah, I was talking about that the other day, about the good old trusty mascot of the original Xbox.
I remember when that was coming out, and I had rewind time, and it's going to be great. Oh, it was implemented so badly, and then a few years later, Sands of Time came out, Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, and I was like, this is it. This is such a clever idea, brilliant, and that's what I really liked about Life is Strange, about the first one. So, granted, I've not played the second one. But it's because I'm like, it's the only thing that's weird about it is that apparently one of the characters has sort of some telekinetic powers, but apparently it's not featured that much in it. It's not a regular thing of the gameplay, whereas this was like, right, I need to get into this room, but the door's locked. All right, let's blow the lock off the door. And then all the smoke alarms go off. But if I rewind time when I'm in the room, then suddenly the door is locked behind me before it got blown up. All these clever little puzzles that were beaten by using your rewind time thing and saving someone from jumping off the roof and things like that. It was such a good game.
Really was.
Yeah. But they just fair enough. I like the idea that it's a new story each time, new characters, but it almost lost what made it good. Otherwise, it was almost just another run-of-the-mill sort of, Telltale Games style game without this extra mechanic. And that was a problem with Before the Storm. It didn't have any of that. There was nothing, because it wasn't even Max. You were playing Chloe. But fair enough. It's a good little backstory, and it's only short. It's only like 3 episodes. But apparently, anyway, they're going to announce what the next one of that is. But I've also heard there's a rumor that they may be doing a series based on Max again, a true sequel to the first one, which would be good. Okay. Which will probably be another studio working on that, which makes sense. They've got the IP. Square Enix just go, here's let another studio do it. And then also whatever is happening with Tomb Raider for the 25th anniversary, we're going to be hearing, which I don't know what they could do. It's not like there's going to be another new Tomb Raider, but can they do another reboot? Can they do another remake, another remaster?
Well, I don't think they're going to, but I think they could do a new Tomb Raider, because obviously you've had the prequel trilogy now, the reboot trilogy now, so now she's a fully fledged Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
you could actually just redo Tomb Raider.
I don't know whether that was ever the idea, though. I thought that was it. Like, here's this trilogy, we're done. That's her story.
I think what it was is they needed to refreshen the IP. That's the sole reason in doing that reboot, is because they were like, people love Tomb Raider, but
and they did. They made her a modern, decent, not perfect by today's standards for what people would probably want, but a heck of a lot better than the old school, even from the likes of Underworld and stuff, where, she was a lot more of a character. She became much more of a normal person, just trained well, and that's what the game needed. So I feel like, great job done. 3 really good games. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're going to come up with, though, because 25th anniversary is this year, right?
Yes, I believe so.
I just feel like if there was going to be another one, we'd have known about it by now. Yeah. And they already did a remaster of the original Tomb Raider, didn't they? They did. Was it Tomb Raider Legacy?
Yeah.
Tomb Raider Classic? I can't remember. No, was it Legacy?
Tomb Raider Legacy was the redoing of the first
which was done really well, because then it tied into the then reboot, the Underworld, and whatever the other one was. I can't remember, but there was 3 anyway, wasn't there? There was 2, and there was the remaster.
God, what was the third one?
Yeah, can't remember.
Oh, they were really good as well.
Especially Underworld. Underworld was great. I really liked that one.
Enjoyed all of them.
Yeah. I'm just bringing up Wikipedia.
I was going to say, I'm literally just Tomb Raider.
Okay, yeah, Chronicles, Prophecy, Angel of Darkness. That was the end of that. So we had that was it. No, there was Legend, and then there was Anniversary, and then there was Underworld.
Right.
So yeah, Legend was the first in the reboot, and then Anniversary was a remake of the original, designed as a prequel to them, but it tied into that one, and then also Underworld, which then came after.
Oh,
but yeah,
damn.
Underworld especially was great.
Dan. Looks like we've got our new Tomb Raider game.
What's that? Has stuff leaked already?
Tomb Raider Reloaded.
Oh yeah, I see that down there. 2021 Tomb Raider Reloaded. That might not. An upcoming action arcade developed by Canadian studio Emerald City Games for iOS. No,
mobile.
Yeah. No, so that's not it.
No, I know.
The title is set to be free to play with optional in-game purchases.
It's just, it's a shame, because an anniversary like that needs something special,
and it probably will, but I just can't think.
Well, I was going to say, because they've already announced the anime, haven't they? That's coming through, the sort of one that's coming out on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So they've announced that. We already know there's a sequel that that's in the mix for the film. So I'm just like, what else can they do? Because like you said, we would have heard something about the actual new game that would be coming out, if anything would be coming out. I don't know, unless they release a box set with all the DLC and maybe an additional chapter or something for the new trilogy of games. That could be the only thing I think of, like a PS5 and Xbox One X, like exclusive setup, maybe with some nice little gubbins go into it. I think that's the only way you're going to be able to get it.
Yeah, I think if there's going to be anything, it will just be, here's the original 5 games in one set or something like that. I feel like that's all they've got time to do.
I don't know if I'd be angry with that either.
Yeah,
because I would like the opportunity to play everything in the one platform.
Yeah, if they just tidy them up a bit, make it a little less clunky. That'd be nice. Don't know, but it feels like it would be a cheap enough thing for them to do, to be like, all right, there you go, we've done something. But also, here's an announcement of the next game that's going to be coming in 3 years. I feel like that's what they're going to do. Yeah, and apparently I'm just reading about the second sequel to the movie, and it's supposed to be resuming production this year. Now that doesn't mean filming. That necessarily means actually writing it and planning it, because apparently it's not. It didn't get anywhere near as far as they wanted. It was supposed to be coming out March 19th, but got completely delayed indefinitely.
Yeah, see, again, it wasn't a film that set fire to the bar or anything like that. It was just a by the numbers sort of, but it wasn't. That's
it. Yeah,
it was nowhere near as bad as the Angelina Jolie one.
Oh no, so, absolutely.
I'm quite content with that.
It was just frustrating because it came after the reboot of the game, and the reboot of the game was so good that I was like, right, this movie, if they're basing it on this, it's going to be amazing. Yet it was still too sort of Hollywood action movie. It wasn't Tomb Raider enough, and I don't know, just ruined the whole. I'm not like I'm precious about the Tomb Raider story in the slightest, but ruining the whole thing about her dad dying and spoilers, not being dead in the movie, things like that. It just it was the guy out of Game of Thrones, wasn't it? If I remember right. Yeah, so it was just, let's just find a vehicle for him. I don't know.
The one that I'm really excited about, because I know game films are usually quite pants.
Yeah.
This first Silent Hill film was freaking incredible, and I don't care what anyone. I had an argument with this, and I'd never really argue or have disagreements on social media because I really can't be arsed.
Yeah.
But some dude put up on like a Geek Dad page a picture of his Silent Hill 2 jacket. Like, he got like a jacket that looks just like James Sunderland's jacket.
Right.
And he found the official patches from years back when Silent Hill 2 got released. Like one of the collector's edition, you could get the patches to sew onto your jackets and stuff. And he found some on eBay and basically put on his jacket. And I was like, nice. And some guy was like, yeah, shame Silent Hill died after Silent Hill 3. It's like, it didn't though, because like if you played some of the other games, like Shattered Memories, which came out on the Wii, was fucking incredible. It was nothing like any of the other Silent Hill games.
Right.
But the way that it made you think, because there was no fighting in it. It was literally like you run and hide from like anything that basically comes after you. But it's all psychological manipulation when you're playing the game. So at the end, like at certain intervals throughout the story, it'll cut to the psychiatrist who will be going, right, okay, so while we're here then, before we move on, here's a river, and he does this thing of, okay, there's like you know, your best friend, your dad, your dog, your mum, here on this side of the island, there's a boat, but there's rocks in the middle of it, and you're guaranteed that the boat's going to get smashed in half. Who would you put on which side? And that will affect the story. There's ones where it'll show you, like right near the beginning of the game, a picture, which apparently Heather drew. Heather giving away the thing Silent Hill 3, which shows Drew at the beginning of Silent Hill 1. It shows you that picture.
Right.
And then right towards the end of the game, it'll be like, what colour was the roof of that? And if you can remember certain colours, it affects the game massively.
Wow.
And there's so many questions he asks you throughout the game. They're like, what's your favourite chess piece? And it's things like that, and you're like, and everything affects the game. And me and Dave completed it about 3 or 4 times, and bits were different all the way through it, and it was incredible the way it was done. So it's like, that was cool. But
nice.
The dude who was saying it was like, and even the films were fucking awful. And I was like, I agree with the second one. The second Silent Hill film was horrendous. Like, Revelation was just a really, really bad film. But the first Silent Hill film was incredible. Like, I'm sure we've gone through this several times, but the fact the camera angles they kept for when you're going down the alleyway and it does the turn cuts just the way like it did in the game. The atmosphere was spot on for Silent Hill. The nurses were fucking creepy as all hell. Like, everything was perfect for it, apart from the way that they got rid of Sybil. That was the only thing where I'm like, yeah, you need to change that. But apart from that, like, Dahlia Gillespie was fucking great in it. It was just a really goddamn good film. Not just a game film, but just an actual film itself. It's a really good one. And unfortunately, Christopher Gans, the dude who did the first film, wasn't anything to do with the sequel. But then he was like, you know what? I don't want that to be everyone's lasting memory of it. I want to do the new one. So he's doing another game based on Silent Hill. Another film, sorry, based on Silent Hill, which is just awesome, because I know since he did such a good job of the first one, he's going to do an awesome job of this one. So I'm excited, and I think it's going to have to be like a brand new sort of standalone story as well, because Silent Hill Revelations covers 3 in a really poor way. So we can't do the follow-on from that. It's going to be like another nice new little story, which is going to be awesome. And the fact that he's also doing the Project Zero film, it's going to be a good time for gamers everywhere. I'm genuinely excited about all of these. And Akira Moto, I'm probably saying his name wrong, the dude who does the soundtrack to the game, has been teasing that they're in collaboration with someone to do another horror-themed title for fans of a certain franchise.
Interesting.
Okay, so hopefully this might be a good time to be a Silent Hill fan, because it needs something to bring it back. Silent Hill was one of those amazing franchises that unfortunately took a bit of a dip, and it just never seemed to recuperate. With it being Konami were like, yeah, we don't want to do games anymore. We want to do like pachinko machines, and that's it. They haven't done a game for years. They've just gone, yes, Metal Gear Solid. Fuck it, do a survival type game. That'll do. Yes, Metal Gear Survive. Ideal, fans will love that. Silent Hill, fuck it off. No one really cares about that anymore. That's just games. Nah, you don't want them unless you can play them on a fucking pachinko machine. No one cares, and it's a shame because they have some amazing IPs. So if they could bring back Silent Hill. Now, just if you don't want the IPs, give it to fucking Capcom, or give it to, I was going to say Japan Studio, but they're obviously now gone. Just give it to a good team, and they won't really come back. Even if they did a proper reboot, full-on reboot of the first one on the PS5 and Xbox One X, where it'd just be all horrendous looking. Keep a fuck ton of fun.
That seems overdue. I'm so surprised that they've not, with the success of the Resident Evil reboot remasters. That seems crazy that they've not thought about doing that. It's just even just as a money grab, that seems like something that they would do.
It's Konami though, and they just don't know the last from their elbow for the past 20 years. they've just not done it, and I don't get it. Honestly, I don't get it, because it is one of the most popular franchises on the PlayStation. It's just, to be fair, probably one of the most popular franchises of the late noughties, early noughties, late 90s, because it was just absolutely phenomenal. And I need something more. Yeah, 1999 it came out, the original Silent Hill. So, it's well due its
Definitely.
remake. And if they do it, my word, give it to Capcom. And if they did it in the Resident Evil style, but kept the fog, because it needs the fog. And that was the really poor one when he did the HD remaster of it on the 360 and the PS3. And they let go of most of the fog of 2 and 3. They didn't put 1 on it because they're fucking idiots. But they did 2 and 3, and they got rid of a load of the fog from it. So it lost a lot of the atmosphere. So if you keep the fog on it, it'll be absolutely incredible. I'm so stoked for that to come out, and I'd love them to do the same with Project Zero. Because Project Zero, when it went over to Nintendo, and Nintendo were like, oh, we don't know what to do with it, and they did a Project Zero 5 on the 4 and 5 on the Wii and the Wii U.
Yeah,
I've got the Japanese version of 4, and I really need to put the memory card in the laptop and get the translation package up and running. You can do like a fan-made one that apparently runs perfect. Which you can put into your actual file on the Wii. So I need to do that so I can actually play that. But if they can do it on the Switch and just be like, hey, here's the Project Zero 4 and 5, which are on the Wii U store, I'll be like, yep, pass them to me now, and I will play them now. Now I can do it, especially portable as well. Like, just fucking nom, 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 nom. I'll eat all that shit up. I'm just jonesing for pure survival horror. And you're going on survival horror again. Someone put up a post on Reddit, and it was taken down straight away. Of one of it wasn't GameStop, but it was one of those shops over in America where they went in and picked up a flyer, and that had Resident Evil 8 pre-order code on it, or Resident Evil Village code on it, and the box picture had VR mode compatible on the top of it. He was like, well, and it was taken down straight away. I was like, So I'm wondering, maybe now are they gonna?
Well, do you remember when we first talked about this?
Yeah, and you were saying they're gonna do it later down the line.
Yeah, they'll do it later down the line. They'll charge for a second copy for a VR version of it if you want the VR version, and it'll be for the new VR system. And then lo and behold, a couple of months later, we're working on a new VR system. I guarantee that they are kicking themselves in the foot for not charging extra for the VR version of 7.
Yeah,
I guarantee it. So they won't make that mistake twice.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where we call it an evening, Reg.
Oh, nice. I didn't even get into any of the news I was going. Because I just went
before we started recording. You went, have you got a lot to talk about? And I'm like, yeah, I've got a good few things. I think I've only managed to mention like two and a half of them.
Yeah,
it sounded like you had nothing to say, but then suddenly, I
was doing what you always do to me.
Oh, right, okay.
You always go to me, do you have anything to talk about? I'm like, I've got loads to talk about. I did a quiz in work where I had loads of useless inventions I wanted to run through the thing. So I'm going to do a game next week.
No, wow. Wow.
That I'm going to give you either the names of said inventions, and I'm going to ask you what they are.
Okay.
Or I'm going to give you a description of it, and from that description, if you can name the actual invention. Okay. Because they're very obvious, the names from the names, but they're brilliant. I had to do a quiz in work this morning, and that was my thing.
Well, I mean, I'm fine with that, but you do realise you need to come up with a theme tune.
I know, and strangely, one of the inventions is part of an instrument, so I'm gonna use said instrument very badly.
Alrighty.
So I look forward to it.
Excellent. All right. Well, that's next week. Tune in.
Look forward to it, and thank you for having me, and thank you everybody for listening. I don't know why I always thank you for having me when I was always here from the start. It's not like I just drop in every now and again to be like, hey, I'm not like Sean or Derek.
No,
I'm here for a long haul.
Glad you remembered.
Yeah, you can't change his name on Slack.
No, never mind. All right.
Hey.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.
See you next time. Have a good week. Toodles.